potential of some winter precipitation. First low weather days have already been declared Friday night into Sunday morning. I'll have details on what we're seeing right now in the forecast coming up on Weather Extra.
And plus, cloud seeding. Does it work when it comes to snow? Well, how scientists in Utah are using cutting-edge technology to find out the answer. And what role weather played in this massive pileup on an interstate in Michigan.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
Hey, Matt!
Hey, Tania!
You made me a little nervous. I never get to do the show with you.
I know this is our first time co-anchoring Weather Extra together, because usually if I'm here, you're not. So it's great to be here, but whoa, we got a lot to talk about on this show today.
We certainly do. There's a lot going on, and I know you have some details on what we could see tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the next big thing, what we could see for the upcoming weekend. First, the weather days in effect Friday night into Sunday morning, and I know your question is, yo, Tania, can we see some snow? Well, I do have a breakdown of what we're watching and what exactly we see right now, but also what the question marks are being this far out. A potential winter storm is going to sweep across the south and east. There are going to be some areas that will definitely see some snow, and then there's some areas like us that are in the fine middle. We're talking about, could we see snow, or will it be some wintry mix? Will it be some ice? Will it be sleet? Or could it be rain? So let me walk you through some of our headlines. We have a medium chance for impactful weather, not a low chance. We're talking about medium because many of the models are in agreement that there is a winter storm impacting the southeast. Cold rain, ice, sleet, and snow are our possibilities, but it's still just too early to define the timing and the direct impacts. But that potential definitely stands for power outages and travel issues if this pans out. Right now, though, we're dry. We're going to stay dry tonight. It is going to be a cold night. Temperatures already in the 30s for many parts, 34 in Coleman, close to freezing, 39 in Talladega, 45 degrees in Tuscaloosa, 43 in Birmingham. First weather days in effect. Now let me talk about what we do know heading into the weekend. Number one, the signs are there for a winter storm across the southeast. A mix of rain, snow, sleet, or ice possible. Friday night and Sunday will be that time frame. Power outages and poor travel conditions are possible. That's what we know. But now let me show you what we don't know being this far out. Exact timing of the precipitation. That'll determine who sees the snow, sleet, ice, or cold rain. That still remains a question mark. Ice and snowfall totals is definitely a question mark because we're still not even sure whether we're going to see ice or snow, or will it be rain, and how severe those impacts will be. Those are the things that we'll be fine-tuning over the next several days. Now, before the weekend even happens, we're actually tracking some rain as early as Wednesday evening. This won't make major impacts, but it will be impacting any outdoor plans you have Wednesday night. Rain will increase in coverage overnight into early Thursday. There's Thursday right at midnight. There could be some moderate downpours at times, but it's going to sweep through pretty quickly. By the time many of you wake up Thursday morning, most of the rain will be out of here, but I still see the chance for a few lingering showers on and off during the day. It's going to be a day you will want the umbrella and that rain jacket for sure. So have the rain gear for yourself and your family members midweek to late week, because things only ramp up from here on out. Again, a freeze tonight, a hard freeze. Matter of fact, we'll see overnight lows dropping into the 20s and even some teens to the north. So bundle up tomorrow morning. Rain returns for us Wednesday night, impacting us early Thursday, on and off during the day Thursday as well. And of course, our eyes are on the weekend for some winter weather, and we're going to be sure to keep you up to date with that and talk about in just a bit how hard it is to really fine-tune these winter setups and what it takes as we forecast it. Stay with us. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
Well, we always say remember the 4 Ps when it gets really cold outside. People, pets, plants, and pipes. And this is going to be important for tonight, but it's going to be really important as we go into the weekend, as we get the threat for wintry weather across the southeast. I want to show you how cold it's going to get tonight. You might want to drip the faucets before you go to bed tonight, and you don't have to drip them once you wake up. We should see those temperatures warm up. We could be in the upper teens to low to mid 20s, so very cold temperatures expected for tomorrow morning. So make sure your pets are inside now. I stepped outside. I highly encourage staying inside and being warm. However, you might be one of those people that want to look at the night sky. We have a good chance to see the northern lights tonight. Because why? We got a G4 magnetic storm happening. That's very strong, and that K index is getting close to a 9, which is really good. That's what you want to see if you want to see the northern lights as far south as Alabama. So we have potential for that, and the sky is mostly clear. So if you look up in the night sky, you might be able to see it better with your camera on your phone. So what do we know? We have a geomagnetic storm. I'm already seeing pictures on social media of the northern lights farther north and in parts of Europe already. So we could see it as far south. We just don't know exactly when it's going to happen. So just look out periodically throughout the overnight hours and you may see something. And if you do, take a picture of it and send it in through the WBRC First Alert Weather app, and you might just see those photos tomorrow on Weather Extra. Well, it's been 16 months since Hurricane Helene made landfall in North Carolina and left unspeakable damage in the western part of the state. Repairs are ongoing, and the State Department of Transportation expects repairs to a section of a major highway damaged by Helene will now cost nearly $2 billion. Shelley Garzon has the story.
We're seeing about a $900 million cost increase on I-40 due to Helene.
The State Department of Transportation is working with a new price tag to repair I-40 after damages from Helene.
Originally, the estimates were $1.1 billion. That has now gone up to nearly $2 billion. Really, the main factor behind that is we have new subsurface information. So the early estimates, we just did not have that information. So we've spent some time out there. We've worked closely with our contractor to determine those costs over time.
DOT engineers say this will not impact the timeline to reopen the interstate.
We're going to have to go deeper into the ground, but we're not changing the scope of the project. That will remain the same, and it will not change the timeline either. The project will still be completed. All lanes will be open in late 2028.
The highway not up to full capacity, local economic leaders say there are impacts to the area.
Certainly, our travel tourism sector hasn't recovered to the level that it was pre-Helene. Some of that is because perceptions outside of our area that this area is closed to visitors or this area is not ready for visitors.
Tourism is not the only area Ramsey says is seeing impacts.
Companies that are need to transport their products in various ways. The fact that that corridor is a little less accessible today than it was is certainly a drag on them. Many companies have just-in-time inventory where they're needing that inventory as timely as possible. So that's certainly an impact.
DOT says driving patterns along the reconstruction zone will not change.
Drivers will continue to be in the pattern they're in now, a single lane pattern in each direction along the work site, and it'll remain in that pattern until we're able to open all lanes in late 2028.
Well, spotting a natural wonder. Up next, we're showing you what makes this lake in Canada unlike any lake you've ever seen. And yes, it's perfectly natural.
Teachers, promote literacy in your class by scheduling a book reading with WBRC. Scan the QR code now to help your kids soar to new heights with Soar with 6.
Well, it's a shallow lake that looks more like the surface of the moon. And there's a good reason why. Dan Smith tells you all you need to know about the spotted lake.
It's a natural wonder that's both serene and saline. This week, we're heading barely north of the border in search of Spotted Lake. We've covered plenty of isolated natural phenomena, from icy zenstones on Russia's Lake Baikal to blood falls in Antarctica. But this feature in British Columbia, Canada, just a couple miles north of the Washington state border, is most fascinating in summertime. There are no outlets like rivers to drain it, so whatever rain or runoff gets in here pretty much stays until it evaporates in warmer temperatures. That makes this body of water endorheic, leaving behind a wide variety of minerals which crystallize into the crust, making the remaining water extremely salty. Utah's Great Salt Lake is a good large-scale example, as is the Caspian Sea, more than 2 million times the size of today's subject. This is one of several examples of soda lakes around the world, with a bunch of dissolved sodium and carbonate being likened to baking soda. These bodies of water are also highly alkaline, with pH levels between 9 and 12. pH is really a measure of how many hydrogen ions are concentrated in a given solution. Pure water is right in the middle of the scale at a neutral pH of 7, with lower numbers indicating more acidic solutions. It's also logarithmic, with a 6 being 10 times more concentrated than a 5, and so on. This lake takes things a step further. Those little pools you see within are brine pools, with different concentrations of magnesium sulfate, calcium in the lake, dictating which colors emerge, not to mention algae. Once those lake levels start to drop, it's clear why this earned the English language moniker of Spotted Lake. In truth, its significance goes back centuries, with the local Syilx Okanagan First Nation calling it Kilik, or sacred place, for its healing properties and therapeutic waters in each individual pool. You probably know magnesium sulfate as Epsom salt, and many people have claimed for centuries an Epsom bath helps relax muscles and reduce stress on the body. While it's true that magnesium is important for both of those, there are no definitive scientific studies to show that a meaningful amount can be absorbed through the skin. A warm soak can help boost blood flow, however, so it can still be beneficial. The lake's salts and minerals were skimmed and dredged as a source of ammo and explosives during World War I. A geologist at the time described the brine as, quote, very heavy and very slimy, like the white of an egg, and had an offensive odor. Sulfates do have sulfur in them, after all. After changing hands a few times in the decades since, the lake and 56 acres surrounding it belonged to the Okanagan First Nation once more as of 2001. A sacred place and scientific curiosity protected for future generations. For this week's Moment of Science, I'm Dan Smith.
Very cool stuff right there. Well, this winter, scientists are taking a closer look at cloud seeding over Utah's northern mountains. As Nate Larson tells us, the scientists are using new technology to find out just how much extra snow it may be producing.
Scientists from the University of Utah are analyzing both natural and seeded storms, trying to answer a long-standing question. Does cloud seeding really make a difference?
We're trying to understand winter storms in the northern Wasatch and the impacts of cloud seeding on those storms, and whether or not it's having a major impact on both snowfall and on runoff.
The scale of this research is unlike anything Utah has seen in decades, stretching across most of the northern Wasatch Range.
This is the biggest field campaign in Utah to look at mountain precipitation since at least the year 2000, before the 2002 Olympics. It may be the largest in the history of the state.
Dozens of specialized instruments are running around the clock, many far more advanced than standard weather sensors.
We have specialized instruments that are designed to tell us about the properties and characteristics of clouds. These are very different from typical weather instruments.
Some of those instruments even use lasers to see inside winter storms, tracking cloud structure, liquid water, and how storms evolve as they move across the Wasatch.
During the seeded storms, we're trying to look for example, whether or not the seeding is having an impact on the precipitation structures that we're seeing on radar, whether or not we can see some of the seeding material in some of the specialized instrumentation we have, and ultimately how much snowfall it's producing.
This effort comes after Utah dramatically expanded its cloud seeding program following record low water levels at Great Salt Lake.
Back in 2022, we all know that the Great Salt Lake hit the lowest level on record. And part of the response to that was to create a more robust cloud seeding program.
That expansion included a major funding boost, allowing the state to invest in research, infrastructure, and new technology.
The goal here is to increase the winter snowpack, which we know is our water supply come during the spring runoff.
Even modest gains can add up over time.
Target control evaluations since 1974 are showing about a 6 to 12% increase in precipitation, which may not sound like a lot, but when you translate that over the course of a decade, that's additional half year to year of additional snowpack.
Researchers are also testing new drone technology designed to seed storms more precisely by flying directly into the cloud.
If we have smaller storm systems coming in, we could certainly look into those really precise areas, and we could get directly into the area of the super cool liquid water.
Data collection continues through spring runoff, and researchers say the payoff could go far beyond cloud seeding.
We think it will help, for example, weather prediction at snow basins, specifically for the 2034 Olympics, for example. So there's a lot of benefits that go beyond just better understanding the impacts of cloud seeding.
Well, as we prepare for a potential wintry mess this weekend, other parts of the country are digging out from several inches of snow. And now bitterly cold temps are in place and more cold weather is on the way. Katie Byrne has the story.
A massive winter storm pummeling the eastern U.S. on Sunday, dropping as much as half a foot of snow in some places.
It's beautiful. It's just a beautiful sight to see.
This is more than enough for me.
Here in Massachusetts, crews were out early Monday morning, clearing and treating the roads. With temperatures plunging into the 20s, much of what was left on the ground has frozen over, leading to slippery conditions on streets and sidewalks.
Very slippery. Even with the four-wheel drive, nothing goes through anything.
The snow also dusted neighborhoods as far south as Florida and Georgia, forcing many to take it slow as they traveled over the busy holiday weekend.
Just be careful. Everybody be careful and drive slow. We ain't used to snow and ice on the roads down here, but down here we like getting that playing in it.
In the skies, more than 4,100 flights were delayed and hundreds of others canceled on Sunday. With the storm over, millions of people across the country are now facing bitter cold temperatures to start the week. In the Midwest, forecasters say wind chills could fall as low as 35 degrees below zero and freeze snow into dangerous sheets of ice.
It's brutal out here. It was real slippery. A couple of black ice, a couple of people spinning out. Right. But I took it slow.
Forecasters say temperatures will rebound by the middle of the week before potentially more snow this weekend. In Boston, Katie Byrne, Fox Weather.
And here's an example of how bad the roads can be during winter weather. You're looking at an aerial video of a massive multi-car pileup, and this happened today on the interstate in Michigan. Michigan State Police say between 30 to 40 semi-trucks were involved, and there are numerous drivers reportedly injured. Fortunately, none of the injuries appear to be life-threatening. A whiteout caused by a snow squall is what investigators think led to this massive pileup. Tania, over to you. Let's hope we don't.
Oh, no, absolutely not. We're praying and crossing our fingers, and all that we need to do is to not let that happen. But we certainly need to be careful and proactive leading up into the weekend. That's why we have already declared first alert weather days Friday night into Sunday morning for potential impacts from a winter weather system across the southeast. But it's not impacting us tonight. Matter of fact, we're dry. We're just cold. 40s and 30s on the map, right at freezing in Coleman County, 45 in Tuscaloosa. But tomorrow morning will be a bitterly cold start to the day. We're talking about some teens in low 20s, 24 in Tuscaloosa, 23 in Jefferson, 18 in Coleman County. At least the winds will be fairly light into tomorrow, so that not a major wind chill, but it's going to be cold no matter what. So bundle up, wear those extra layers. Rain returns for us Wednesday evening, mainly the second half of your day. We're watching a cold front that's going to sweep through. It's going to bring us increasing rain chances overnight Wednesday into early Thursday morning. Could see some moderate downpours at times. Wednesday night into Thursday, I definitely recommend having the umbrella and the rain jacket. We'll see rain chances tapering off for most areas during the day Thursday, but there could be a few lingering showers around and definitely some clouds. So hold on to the rain gear during the day Thursday. Now, I do want to just go ahead and preface that we are watching the weekend, and we're going to continue to give you updates as more model runs come out. We're going to watch those weather models closely over the next several days because we are still seeing some impacts here across central Alabama for some wintry precipitation, whether that's snow, whether that's wintry mix, sleet, ice. But the one thing I just want to let you know is that ice is more dangerous than snow. So if we get ice, we are in for some trouble. And I definitely want you to make sure that you are well prepared in case that happens. Now, this is one model, and it's being really aggressive on those temperatures, showing us below freezing during the day Saturday into Sunday morning. If that's the case, well, we could see winter type weather all during the day Saturday. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. This is just one model run. So I do just want to show you what worst case scenario could be. Let me talk about what I do know, though. We're seeing the sign, though, for this winter storm across the southeast. Could we see a mix of rain, snow, sleet, and ice? Well, yeah, it's definitely possible. We have medium confidence at this point with weather models and agreements to some extent. Right, Friday night into Sunday morning is the time frame that we're watching. Now, if this pans out, what impacts could we expect? Well, power outages, especially if ice forms, because that will weigh down on those tree limbs and that could cause them to fall on those power lines. Poor travel conditions could be possible as well, especially if ice covers some of those surfaces. It's very, very dangerous. Now, what we don't know is the exact timing of the precipitation. It could come in earlier, it could come in later at this point. We need to keep watching to determine what type of precip we'll see. Ice and snowfall totals remain a question mark, and how severe the impacts will be also remain a question mark. I do want to walk you through quickly that 10-day forecast because we are watching the weekend, but the good news is tomorrow will be a nice and dry day for you to get prepared. Go ahead and just gather some things that you need and prepare your home for the winter weather. Now, we look very cold into next week beyond the 7-day forecast, and highs next Monday may struggle to get out of the 30s. That's a full look at that 10-day. But Matt, you want to talk a little bit more about how hard it is to really fine-tune systems like this, and more specifically winter weather.
Yeah, usually in the winter months, a lot of people are going to ask, how much snow am I going to see? How much ice is going to accumulate? And it's all about temperatures at the surface and aloft. And the models are all agreeing we're going to see it. But let's talk to you about how we do this. Within 4 to 5 days, we pay close attention. We're observing those weather patterns and looking for that potential storm that could form. That's where we're at right now. We are paying attention. We gave you that first alert about those first alert weather days for this weekend. As we get within 2 to 3 days, as we get towards Wednesday or so, confidence could be increasing. We're looking for that consistency. Does the setup make sense? And then by the time we get into 1 to 2 days, that's when we're figuring out the actual totals, who's going to see what. The models are all showing something. The European model in pinks indicating more of an ice concern. And as Tania was mentioning, ice, not good. That could cause some issues. So we're going to be watching this very closely, and we'll continue with more updates throughout the week right here on Weather Extra. We'll be right back after this. Want to give you a quick reminder, we have a chance to see the Northern Lights tonight. If you see it, take a picture of it and send that photo through the First Alert Weather app, and we'll show it on Weather Extra to you.
Yeah, and we'll have updates on that winter storm for the upcoming weekend tonight at 9 and 10.
Have a great night.